Good morning, it's Rexless, also known as Michael Madison in real life. This is my new Armattan F1-4b. Chris built this up for me just over a week ago and shipped it out. Arrived in the mail just minutes ago. This is my new FPV rig I'm going to be trying to fly here inside the building in the winter and maybe outside, depending how daring I am. It features the new LEDs on the back, which he's configured for me. It's got a nice spot for my battery here on top, sits perfectly. I checked out the balance, it feels like it's nicely centered. It looks like this clean plate is supposed to be for the mobius, which it looks just the right size, so I'm guessing I have to strap that on there if I want to record my flights. It's got these nice bullnose props, look at that, those things look just killer. And of course, it's got this XT60 mounted directly on the power distribution board. Can stick that right on there. It'll be out of the way of the props. It'll be nice and clean, tidy. I'd say things have come a long ways since building quads. My first FPV rig was a lot messier, a lot bigger, and not as nicely detailed as this one. This one's small, it's light. I can't wait to get it out there and give it a try. Along with all the stuff that Christian sent, looks like I've got an extreme sour lemon warhead. And the very funny thing is, Halloween was recent, and I got one of these, and I love these. Absolutely love these. I used to eat these like crazy when I was a kid, so thanks for that. Got an extra set of props here. I'm going to probably have to buy more of those because I have a feeling I'm going to go a little crazy. And if you didn't want this nice omnidirectional antenna, you can get a nice straight pole antenna he provided that came probably with the video transmitter. Some beautiful Armattan production stickers, which I'll be happy to put on my ammunition cases where I store my batteries. And what's this? I don't know what these are. These look to be like they're for the motors. Oh, and a multi-tool. There's the Armattan multi-tool. That's probably going to come in pretty handy. And extra nuts and something for the props, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Figure that out later. So in the meantime, this is ready to go. So all I got to do is I got to bind it. I'm going to bind it to my Devo 10, which I'm running deviation firmware on, which allows me to do the DSM2, which I think is the receiver he put on here for me. And I'll just pause for a minute while I look up how to do that, because I haven't used this mini receiver before. So then I'll get set up and do a test flight. All right, so configured up the rest of this in clean flight here. It took a couple of tries to sort it out. The problem with this transmitter is I'm using a Devo 10. It only does Spectrum 1024. It doesn't do 2048. So unfortunately, for now, I'm going to be limited to that. But that's just the way it goes. Nothing to worry about. But it took a while for me to figure out how to get the channels to go properly, so I had to go in here and go to configuration and down. I don't know if you can see down here, but I had to change it from Spectrum 2048, which Chris used, to Spectrum 1024, and I was able to connect just fine. And now all my receivers should be working correctly. I've got a few different channels set up. I've got another channel set up there. I've got this set up for the LEDs, which I don't have plugged in at the moment, but that's for the LEDs, which is awesome. If I could figure out how to program the LEDs more, I probably could do more with it, but right now if I just turn it low, the LEDs turn off. If I turn it high, they turn on. That way if I'm flying around, I don't need to waste the power, I don't want to use them, I can just turn them off real easy. And of course, these are all nice and centered as far as these Devos go. It's pretty normal. They're off a couple points, and then I hit it again, and it'll go right back in, so close enough. All right. Oh, I got my modes set up as well. So my angle mode is, this one's for a beeper, which this doesn't seem to have a beeper, but I just was playing around. This one's the angle mode, and then it's off. So I can turn that off and on anytime. Cool. So that was set up. That was really easy once I figured out what I needed to do, and everything's bound, so I'm good to go. I've done my first test flight of the Armattan F1-4b that Chris built for me. I have to say, for an indoor flight, the space is terrible. I had to fly through hallways and stuff, as you'll see from the video. I crashed trying to go around a corner because I'm new to the thing. I shouldn't be going in tight spots until I've got some familiarity with it. That said, I went outside and I flew around where our neighbor office has a Christmas tree and stuff sitting out there, and I had no problem turning around and coming out from there. So obviously this thing will be able to handle my style of flying in tight spaces, which I typically like to do. So I can't wait to get it into a slightly more open space to give it a better try. But in the meantime, I found, compared to other ones I've flown of this size or smaller, it was easy to fly. I had no problem going out through the door and coming back through the doorway and turning and coming in the door, landing over by my other Armattans. So it kind of has a little bit of up and down movement. It doesn't have a barometer, so you're going to get a bit of that, but it was way more stable than most of the other models I've tried. And it has the mobius on top. It didn't seem to have any problems with the mobius. I've got this Nanotech 1.3 3-cell battery I'm using for now. I believe this one does 4-cell as well, but I only have 3-cell at the moment, so that's what I'll be flying for now. It had no problem with performance. It was great. It was good fun. I'm sure I'll be learning fine. I was really glad that this is nice and flexible because when it crashed, it ended up upside down at one point, and it didn't do anything to it. It's perfectly fine. So this thing is strong, tough as nails. The only thing I can say I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a slight modification. You can see under here that some of these screws, if you can tell, I've changed a couple of them out. I think Chris is using steel screws in here, but I happen to have a whole bunch of aluminum and titanium options here. So I swapped a few of them out for aluminum right now. And basically, once I replace them all, I'll save probably about 5 grams. This whole thing before that weighed in at 454 grams, all loaded, with the battery included. So I'll probably be able to bring it down to 449. So I'll save about 5 grams, which it's not huge, but hey, 1% is 1%. I'll take it. And otherwise, it's beautiful. He's got aluminum screws back here. He's got nice aluminum standoffs from what it feels like. It's well constructed. I love the ability to tilt this lens. It's been great. I've never had a tilted lens on one of my FPV rigs before, so I'm used to flying with it straight out. Having it tilted, I didn't even notice that it was any different, to be honest. It seemed perfectly natural. If anything, it was easier. I didn't want to tilt it too far so that when I don't come in landing, I can't figure out where to land. It was a little bit tricky on the landing there. You see, I think I even tapped one of the other Armattans when I came in for the landing, but it was fine, nothing happened. And a couple tries with that, you'll be used to it, no problem. Anyway, very solidly built. I'm very excited. I really want to get this out and fly it. Too bad it's dark outside and snowy. I don't really want to go fly this in the dark in the snow and have it hit something and crash and be ruined on my first time out. So until the next opportunity presents itself, I'm Rexless, Michael Madison, and this is my Armattan. Thanks, Chris.